Agua Azul is one of the top destinations in the world for kayakers, attracted to its numerous waterfalls of varying heights with clear blue-green spring water in a warm tropical environment. While it is fun to see short clips of paddlers flinging themselves over the drops, I'm hoping here to give you a better idea of what tackling this river is like and impress upon you that it's not just for Class 5 waterfall junkies, but also for Class 3 and Class 4 kayakers who want to enjoy smaller falls and rapids, incredible scenery, and some fun times. The start of an Agua Azul descent is usually at the main concession area where tourists come to behold and swim by the falls. From this point, it's 4.2 kilometers to the end of Río Agua Azul, where it joins Rio Shumulha. There is a section with falls and rapids to paddle upstream of the concession area. This is where the motocross race took place in the Rey del Rio event in 2014. Well, we're here at the concession area at Agua Azul, and there's one nice, pretty high waterfall behind me. You see, it's been run a few times. Full here, and we're just going to float over these sliding drops, and then there's a lot of fun ones to do, class 3s and 4s, down to the final big one. After you depart the concession area, there are two main channels to follow, the right and the left main channels. The right channel is fine, and I've gone down it at least 4 times, but this time we took the left channel. There's one other far left channel that offers a very different descent along the Ejido Bachajon side of the river. Well, a lot of kayakers don't realize is most of the run in Agua Azul here is just kind of class 3 and 4 drops if you portage the big ones at the end. You start at the concession area and you got a few kilometers down to the Shumulha, and then when you get on the Shumulha there's about 2 or 3 more class 3-4 rapids, and then a few more 2s down to the takeout bridge. It's very nice, it's pretty clean water, beautiful color. It's just a wonderful place to come and paddle, probably one of the best meccas of paddling in the world that you can come. I can come here and paddle it again and again. You can paddle the right channel, the left channel, and then there's a middle channel as well in the upper half here. And they all converge down here before you get to the bottom big drops. When you get to the bottom big drops, you don't have to run them. You can portage them all on the right side of the river, but it's easiest to go through the first 2 or 3 of them, which you can also portage, and then there's an easier trail up to get around the biggest, highest one, as well as the last ones into the Shumulha. At the Buf Chico Rapid, the river right channel merges again with the main left channel. After one more small drop, there's 1.8 kilometers of fairly easy river with class 2 rapids and play waves interspersed between the pretty blue pools. At the end of the easy section, there's a final class 3 to 4 rapid which some might like to scout on the left. It's mostly a slide with a lot of waves and some holes. Just 200 meters downstream, the river turns to the left and goes into Bolom Aha, the final 5 falls. The final 5 falls is divided into cascadas 1 to 5, or 1 a 5. Cascada 1 is the first and has a very high clean fall on river left that almost nobody ever runs, and 2 drops of about equal height on river right where most kayakers go. If you don't want to run the double drops of Cascada 1, it's possible to portage boats on the far right or throw them down and jump. The water is pretty thin on this side, so it's easy to walk around and scout out all the lines. You want to make sure you're not going to land on a flat travertine rock at the bottom, and then set up well in a place with enough water that you'll be able to slide down without sticking too much on the travertine, which can turn you and sometimes cause problems. Overall, these 2 drops are fairly benign. At the bottom of Cascada 1, you can battle up to behind a thin curtain of water into a pretty neat spot, and also through a small arch on the right. There's a pretty long pull down to Cascada Dos, while you'll want to get out and scout on the left. This is where you would portage as well. You have to walk out on the water-covered travertine to get a good look at this drop, but this one is also pretty benign with an increasingly sloping lip and good aeration at the bottom, so it's fairly hard to mess it up. However, things do sometimes still go wrong, as you see James here flipping at the base and getting sucked back behind the curtain. What happened there?
Well, I ended up a little bit too much in the slot and got flipped and then pushed behind the curtain. And while I was trying to roll, my knee came out from the knee brace, and so I had to pull myself back into my outfitting, and then when I rolled up, I was behind the curtain. It was actually a very calm spot back there, and it was easy to roll in, but my knee was out, and so it took me a while.
At the end of the next pool, there's a way to climb up on River Right to scout the following two drops. If you're not feeling bold at this point, you can use a rope to pull your kayak up to the understory here and easily walk or drag it to the end. Cascada Tres is a fairly high fall and intimidating, with a more sharp lip that is more difficult to line up and properly maintain the optimal 45 to 60 degree angle upon impact. At a sharp lip falls like this, it's easy to over-rotate, or if you get too ambitious to not over-rotate, boof out too flat. Either of these mistakes can hurt, but you risk more spinal compression risk from possibly boofing out too flat. Like Cascada Dos, Cascada Tres can be run safely in a wide area, including nearly the entire middle half of the river. You want to stay away from the far right and the far left. It's sometimes easiest to get your optimal plunge angle at a point where the lip is not as sharp, such as on the left. You have to be careful at Cascada Tres, since the current moves you quickly to the high and dangerous Cascada Cuatro. This falls is approximately 18 meters high and has been the site of injuries, including at least one broken back. Even waterfall aficionados often portage this drop due to the height. But those who want to take the pipe plunge need to line up properly in the middle, or possibly on the far right on a line that was pioneered by Pat Keller in the Rey del Rio event. If you took the easy portage route around Cascada Cuatro, you can return to the river near the lip of Cascada Cinco. This is a fairly high and straightforward falls with a wide margin at the lip and a variety of sharp to more moderately sloping angles. For the highest drop with the deepest water at the lip, try following the blue deep water channel on the right side all the way up to the lip. This is a pretty high falls at 14 meters or 42 feet, and the impact is much harder than in Cascadas Dos or Tres. If you want a more gradual sloping fall, you can try paddling over farther on the left side. If you go there, it's best to scout again, as there is some piton risk. Got a good smack of water in my face, so how'd that last one feel?
That one was a much cleaner line, but a bigger impact, definitely. The landing was definitely a blow. Still, it was fun, lots of free fall. Try that again, there we go.
Agua Azul! At Cascada Cinco, the Rio Agua Azul plunges into the more voluminous Rio Shumoha. Only 600 meters downstream, you'll come to a fun Class 3 rapid, and then immediately downstream a Class 4 rapid, Coqueton. There are road access point takeouts another 2 kilometers and 10 kilometers downstream. Agua Azul is runnable all year, but December through May is the best time to paddle it, with generally very blue water and decreasing water levels that never get too low for paddling the falls.